Welcome everyone, it's Anna Finlayson, your Maiden Early Trust Careers Advisor. This is the first of 5 podcasts aimed at helping you prepare for your mock interview in March. Each podcast only lasts about 5 to 8 minutes and can be used alongside your Getting Interview Ready resource. For podcast 1, we're going to start by looking at what an interview is and understanding the recruitment and selection processes employers often use. It's really natural to feel a bit nervous about an upcoming interview, especially if it's your first interview. But I'll let you into a little secret. Most people usually feel a few nerves at interview, no matter how old they are. But remember, interviewers are used to people feeling nervous and will work to help you feel more relaxed as they want to see the very best of you. Also know that by following these podcasts and reading your Getting Interview Ready booklet, I promise that you will discover exactly how to prepare, how to grow in confidence, and increase your chances of success, and even shine. So, what is an interview? Well, it's really a form of assessment. It's a formal situation where candidate and employer can get to know each other. By asking the candidate questions, the interviewer is learning what skills the candidate has, about their experience and working history, why they have applied for the job, and how suitable they might be for the position. The candidate's answers, therefore, help the employer know how suitable they are for the job. Candidates also have the opportunity to ask questions. We'll talk about this a bit more in a later podcast. Interviews may involve just the candidate and interviewer, or the candidate and 2 or more people. This is known as a panel interview. It may be by phone, virtually, or face-to-face. The recruitment and selection process can vary from employer to employer, yet generally speaking, they tend to follow a certain pattern of procedure. But it is important to check for each job just in case. Most applicants will complete an application form, and this is most often done online. Sometimes people will apply by sending their CV and a covering letter, which contains information about the applicant's skills, their suitability for the job, and why they are applying. This stage is your first chance to stand out by writing a great application. The employer will then shortlist candidates by looking at each application. Some companies may receive hundreds, even thousands of applications, and others not many at all. Usually the employer will let you know if you've been successful or not at each stage, but not always. Some employers may also arrange for applicants to do assessments as part of the selection process. These will vary, often depending on the level of the job that's being applied for. Assessments may include a short English or maths test. It may involve writing an email or completion of a questionnaire or an aptitude test. Some employers organise assessment day centres where a shortlisted candidate will be required to complete tasks. For example, a group work exercise where employers observe behaviour and teamwork skills of all the candidates involved, or an in-tray exercise where you'll be asked to prioritise a list of tasks. Interviews may occur at one or more stages of the selection process. For example, starting with a phone interview and later a face-to-face interview. If you are successful at each stage, the employer will offer you the job. You should receive written confirmation, and this is very important. Finally, the employer will undertake employment checks. For example, they will write to your referees asking them to provide a reference for you. You can ask teachers, tutors, youth leaders and employers to be your referee. You normally require two, and you would list them on your application form. You need to ask them as well. You may be required to provide documentation such as a passport, your national insurance number, and other documents. Some people will be required to undertake a police check. Most commonly, this is the case for people who will be working with children and vulnerable people, or who will be working with highly classified or secret information. For example, a job within a certain government department. If all is satisfactory at this stage, you will be given a start date. So now we're going to move on to podcast 2.